So after working being as chair of circular economy FNQ for the last, this is my fourth year, and reading all of the waste management systems and policies and roadmaps for both local, state, and federal, let me tell you something about our household waste. Nearly, in some regions, it's 30% because when they don't have good food being delivered into their region, like Cookshire, they don't really have the luxury of wasting too much food because our food systems are so shit up here. Our food that we grow up on the tablelands is shipped down to Brisbane and then back up again. So even though Cookshire is a couple of 100 kilometres away from where the food is grown, the food miles is close to 4,500 on the fruit and vegetables that is being stocked in the IGA in Cooktown. So, but in normal regional and city areas, it can be up to 70% food waste, right? So we compost, so we're diverting 70% of the waste that goes into the red lid bin. So then we could get our bins, we could almost have 3 families use one bin, maybe even 4. So then when it comes down to the sewerage, I've got a composting toilet, and I recommend, if you are investing in a tiny house, the easiest way for your waste management plan to be passed by your local council is to have a composting bin. Now, what does this do with the system thinking, right? When we are no longer sending our high value effluent into sewerage systems, which are so inefficient, and it is one of the limiting infrastructure systems that is stopping the councils, regional councils, releasing land titles, right? So they can't release it because the infrastructure, and this is what our Prime Minister has said, right? They're looking at the growth and town planning development of people living in smaller families with the lower birth rate and more intergenerational living. So separate houses so we don't kill each other. And it's also shown to be working in clan groups in just outside of Mount Isa. When they have the family members all living in smaller houses, everybody gets along. When there's a third space, and everybody can convene there and go back to their own places, then it's shown that those Indigenous communities get on really, really, really well. You know, and there's a lot of child safety, etc., etc. There's a lot of auntiedom happening, that nanas and everybody can go and hide in their home and come out when they want to, be a nana, then go home and enjoy her own kitchen, because everybody wants their own kitchen. Now, in my tiny home, I didn't put an oven in because I've designed this tiny home so that we can go into the tiny house communities, which will be a caravan park license. So then what we would have, based on the land and based on the application that we submitted with our local council, we would actually have 0 sewerage, because everybody would need to have a composting toilet with their tiny home to be able to come into this space. Now, the second option that I would choose would be biogas. Now, there is a micro factory, Gaia is the industry, if you want, is an Australian company that have an anaerobic digester that takes pig effluent and turns it into energy. We've already had a pig farm in central Queensland partnering with CQU University to show that when you actually process the food waste, like the pig, you know, when they're processing it, if they're processing their pigs on the farm, but it's all the effluent and the wee, when they put that into a anaerobic biogas system, it created so much energy that he's making money from his shit. Like, he has got a different income stream for his pig farm because he put in an anaerobic digester that produced biogas, and now he's got little data centers, hubs on the roof of his farm shed, and he's changed all his light bulbs. He's done everything to reduce his energy draw. We will make it so that anybody who lives in our a tiny house caravan park villages will have no electricity cost, and eventually no gas cost, because we will have an anaerobic biodigester for the toilet block that we need to have as part of getting your caravan license. The landowner that is considering maybe expanding into a tiny house caravan park, or using the community title scheme, which is the other option. This is how they do it. Like, whenever they do any kind of development in town, this is all they do, you know. So it's just about following the process. And yes, that's how you get it done. So you work with your town planner on that. You work within the your community's plan, and then this is how you can actually get more than one tiny house on your block. And if you are in what they call a what's it called? I think it's an emerging community zone, then this is a lot easier to do. Anyway, I figured I'd address all of this under this thing, as I've repeated myself, but this is a lot better video, so I think I might use this one on YouTube.